Hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of Struggle to Success. I'm Muskan, and today we'll be interviewing a recent Sac State graduate. Everyone please welcome Gurnoor Kaur.
Hey. Hey girl. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So has it hit you that you're officially done with university?
Not yet. I can't imagine myself just working yet. I've been going to school for the past 17, 18 years, and that's all I see myself doing. I just never imagined myself getting up and just going to a job, coming home, and just taking care of the house and not having to worry about schoolwork anymore. So that's definitely going to be a transition that I have to adjust to.
How hard was it for you to stay committed and focused throughout your college experience?
So when I first started, I went straight to Sac State. So right out of high school, I went to Sac State, and it wasn't a hard transition at all. I mean, I stayed at home. I still had all my friends nearby, so it wasn't like that big of a transition for me. But once I got into nursing school, that's when I had the biggest transition. I feel like it was very, I felt like it was more hard for me to stay committed.
Mm-hmm.
Before nursing school, I would study, a day or two before the exam, and I would ace all my exams. I was known as the student who never studied and still aced all my tests. But in nursing school, I would study a week or two before my test, staying up all night, waking up early morning to study for my test, and I still wouldn't get the grades that I wanted. And that just, it definitely brings down your confidence. I just thought that, maybe nursing's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that you have your whole group with you, you have your whole section, your professors are always there to support you, you have your family and friends supporting you, it definitely helped to keep up my motivation. And honestly, I think that's one of the things that kept me going through nursing school.
What is it about nursing that gets you attracted to it and excited to become a nurse?
So growing up, I was known as like the nurse of the family. I always took care of my grandparents at home. And my grandma was pretty sick, and she was always living with us. And I always took care of her growing up. Like, I would always help my dad with her for just the activities of daily living, right? And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like patient care, and I started watching TV shows like Grey's Anatomy and Untold Stories of the ER, all those medical shows.
Yeah.
And just seeing like how nurses make a big impact on their patients. And once I started nursing school, in clinicals, I just realized how much of a difference we can make. I'm in nursing school where I had a patient who was homeless, she had a baby, the baby was in the NICU, and she didn't know if she would be able to take her baby home. And, just being there for her, like going to her room and talking to her, she just thought of it as the greatest thing that has happened to her during her hospital stay. She would not stop thanking me for it, and it just really touched my heart in a way that, for me, I was just going in to ask her how she's doing, but seeing the impact that it made on her, definitely, it makes me realize, like, this is the reason why I'm going into nursing.
How difficult was it for you to keep up with your daily routine and pushing through every day to get to where you are today?
It was definitely a transition having to manage schoolwork along with clinical work, because we would have some days when you were at school having lecture classes and you would have homework for those and also studying for exams, and other days you would have clinical where you're trying to balance your patients and working with the nurse all day. It's definitely a transition. Also, like I said, like the studying routine definitely changed, having to wake up early mornings and staying up all night.
So how did COVID impact your nursing school? Like, did you have to do a lot of it from home, or were you still able to go to class and do your clinicals?
With COVID, I feel like it definitely took away a lot of the experience that we could have gotten in nursing school. So Sac State, it's a 4-semester nursing program. The first about semester and a half, almost 2 semesters we had in person, you know, like the way it usually would be. But when COVID hit, we got kicked out of clinicals. Hospitals, a lot of hospitals weren't accepting students anymore, and all of our lectures and everything, it went online, and we didn't have the same skills labs that we could have gotten just to minimize the amount of time we were on campus. And you know, it was definitely, it took an emotional hit on me too, honestly. It made me feel like I was an incompetent nurse. I just felt like I wouldn't be the same nurse that I could have been if I had gotten the same experience with nursing, like pre-COVID. But just that in and of itself was an adjustment. It was already hard adjusting to nursing school as is. And with COVID hitting, you know, obviously we all made it through, we did it, but I think it's gonna be having to learn a lot more in the field than just having to go through school and going into the workforce as is.
In your opinion, how would you describe the perfect nurse?
So the perfect nurse in my eyes, you can't just be in the hospital and know like the pathophysiology of diseases and know the treatments for them. You have to have a heart to care for patients. I mean, that sounds kind of bad, but you need to be there for your patients emotionally as well, right? I've definitely seen a lot of nurses, they're in it for the money. Like you go in and they know what they're doing, but they're not really there for their patients. Like they just do their work and they come out. But for me, the perfect nurse is one who can connect to their patient on an emotional level, connect to the families as well, and actually empathize with them, not just sympathize.
What's your advice to upcoming nursing students?
There's gonna be times you come across in your nursing school that you think you really just wanna give up. You think that you're not meant to be a nurse. You're gonna get yelled at by your patients in clinicals. Your nurses aren't gonna like you in clinicals. You're not gonna get the grades that you want. But honestly, you just have to keep going through it. You have your professors there to support you. You have your classmates there to support you. And you know, if you're having a hard time, just talk to your professors about it. They'll always help you out. But you know, you just have to keep an eye on what your end goal is. Like, why are you going into nursing? Just always keep that into mind.
Make sure you like, comment, and click the subscribe button. And to check out our previous video, you can click over there, and make sure you turn on the bell so you don't miss out on any updates and new videos that we post. Thank you.